Welcome to the Sisterhood of Sweat. Today's guest is Taylor Simpson. Taylor Simpson is an expert on the power of the subconscious mind. Taylor Simpson is also a motivational speaker, mindset and business coach, and host of the widely downloaded podcast, A Tailored Adventure in Happiness. With more than a decade spent studying and producing the law of attraction, she's the creator of several super successful programs, such as the Empowered Life Experience, the Money Mindset Masterclass, and the Online Business Building Tribe. In the power of mindset, backed with years of data and neuroscience and psychology, lending to her ever-growing expertise in the power of the subconscious mind. From 9-to-5 employee to social media influencer to business owner and entrepreneur, Taylor is unapologetic about what it takes to get what you want, do what you want, and become the person you were designed to be. Taylor has a master's degree in international development, spent time working on Capitol Hill, is a former competitive bodybuilder and bikini fit model, and has been featured in a variety of media, including the Washington Post, Work Hard, Play Hard, Mavenly Women for Greatness, Chasing Joy, and Badass Business Babe, not to mention speaking on stages for world-class brands like Mary Kay, Aligned and Rise, and many others. As a keeping it real, hold nothing back millennial, Taylor helps every woman discover her worth with a refreshing with a refreshing mix of authenticity, laugh, love, and jaw-dropping life experiences that prove any story can change and you have the power to create the life you desire. Today's episode, we talk about letting yourself be yourself, how to know if you're walking and living in alignment, finding your purpose and how that can be multiple things, being a money magnet and how to attract money into your life, and changing your story. This was an amazing episode with such a fireball. You guys are going to really enjoy this today. Without further ado, I want to welcome the one, the only, Taylor Simpson to the Sisterhood of Sweat. Welcome, Taylor.
Yay! I'm so excited to be here, Linda. Thank you.
Yeah, you are such a ray of sunshine and actually a ball of fire. She drops truth bombs like none other. So you're going to hear a lot of that today, and perhaps a few swear words, just to tell the audience in advance that this is, you when you invite somebody on, you invite the person as they are. So I really want to dive into all things Taylor, some of your backstory. Just tell us who you are and how you got started.
Yeah. So again, thank you so much. And it always cracks me up when people are like you're such a sunshine ball of energy. And when you are the way you are, it's like normal, right? Like it's normal for me to have all this energy. So I forget that it's a lot. I'm a double Leo. I'm all the things. So I'm literally like this 24/7. And I'm around other people that are just as energy. And I'm like, whoa, they're so energized. And they're like, you're the same way. So it's so funny how we perceive ourselves, right? And then meta perception, and then you hear how other people perceive you, and you're like, oh, wow, okay. So again, so thank you. Yeah. So really my journey is pretty, I always joke I've got about 9 different lives that I've lived to get me to where I'm at right now. And I'm much older than people think that I am, which is always really funny then when I share my story. So kind of the quick of it is I grew up in the middle of nowhere of Colorado, just like being a mountain girl, living my life, being me, being silly, always putting together fun, crazy outfits. Like I would dress up. I would always share my personality through outfits or my mood through outfits. And so I moved from Colorado to the East Coast to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, which is not the mountains, which is not what I was used to. And I went to a new school in 6th grade, and I immediately got made fun of for the only way I knew how to share my personality, which was through my clothes. I was too much, right? I thought that everyone loved me for my cool outfits, but it was the exact opposite, right? So I thought. So I began to change my outfits to match them. And then they were saying my personality was too much, that I was talking too much, talking too fast, I was just too much. I was too bright. I was too loud for them. And so I began dimming those lights down. Before I know it, I'm now becoming someone that pleases them in order for me to fit in and be liked by the cool kids, right, in my new school. And then this takes on through middle school, through high school, all the way up through college. At this point, I find myself, getting my undergrad and my master's, getting degrees that look good on the outside, that were what you kind of get. I live in the Washington D.C. area now, and that you get when you live in this area. So on the outside, everything was perfect. I had the, boyfriends in college and good grades and a great degree, and but really behind the scenes, I was a hot fucking mess. Like a hot mess. If there was like a billboard above my head of my thoughts, it would have been like a train wreck. Like you would have wanted to turn the other way. I was so mean to myself. I was an emotional eater. I was doing all the drugs you could possibly imagine, starting at age about probably 15. I was doing cocaine. I mean, all the things. I was doing all the alcohol. But again, on the outside, it all looked great and everything was perfect, right? Because in order to be liked by everyone, you had to do the drugs. They wanted the drugs. But if you wanted to get good grades and be appreciated by your parents and look on the outside, you had to get the good grades. So I did a good job morphing myself to meet everyone's standards. And so I graduate college, and throughout that, I was in a lot of different toxic relationships with men, just to get their attention, and then just manipulative. So I then landed a job on Capitol Hill, in Washington, D.C., in politics, which I look back now, I'm like, oh my Lord, never, never again. But that's what you do around here. You get that job. And I start to lean more into food to I'm eating my emotions at this point. I feel super out of place on Capitol Hill because, again, remember now I share my outfits to my personality. So I left college and I kind of got to play a little bit now that I didn't have to, like, I got to have new friends, right? It's my career. So I started to share a little bit of my personality, my outfits, and I would get like the weirdest looks walking through a bunch of black outfit in the Capitol Hill. So I just felt really out of place and leaning to food to heal me. And at this time, I am now engaged and quickly gotten married to my first husband, who sort of rescued me because a week before meeting him, I found out, I was 23 at that point, that I had not known, because we are manipulated easily by narcissists. I found out my dad was a full-blown narcissist and a pastor, to top it off, who was having multiple affairs with parishioners. So my
Oh
perfect
my
family was
gosh,
not,
that had to be
yeah,
mind blowing.
yeah, my perfect family was now no longer perfect, right? See the trend here? And so I accidentally then, marry someone who rescued me and who said they would, take care of me and blah, blah, blah at my weakest time. And so I'm in this relationship. I'm angry at my father. I don't know who the hell I am. I'm miserable. I thought I should be having it all together. Right? I've got the great career. I've got the house. I got the clothes. Why am I eating my feelings away and breaking things? So this is where my anger and not communicating my entire life, not standing up for myself, now 23 years of stifling down my emotions and my ability to share my feelings safely. It was never safe for me to share my feelings. I started breaking things. I started drinking a bottle of wine every single night after work, and just that was about as rock bottom as it gets, to the point where I would break something and my whole body would be shaking, and I would then go lead food to make me feel better. It was an awful cycle. Until one day I was sick of myself. I was exhausted, and it was so frustrating to constantly feel crazy. Like I was like legitimately crazy, and to have to like pretend like I wasn't doing any of that behind the scenes. Again, no one had any clue besides my ex-husband at that point that I was at this sort of state, but he loved it because he could continuously say that I was crazy. Right. And so I then put myself into anger management because I knew that that little girl who was happy, who was go lucky, who was silly and wear tutus, I knew she was in there and I was doing her a disservice by not getting help. So on the same day, I put myself into Overeaters Anonymous and anger management, and began doing the work. I was completely asleep until then. No idea what the self-development world was whatsoever, like as sleepy as you can get. And so I joined a gym to move the energy that was stagnant in my body. So I joined a gym, created an Instagram account because that's when Instagram kind of was like hopping, sort of first coming out, to share my gym outfits. So the gym, I did the same thing. I was like, okay, well, I'll go to the gym and move my little 90-pound body back then, and I'll wear these bright neon clothes and I'll take a picture of it, like just for fun. No idea what I was doing. Zero. Like if you were like, those photos were so blurry. They were like selfies in the mirror, and it was so hysterical. So I began sharing my fun outfits at the gym, and people started following me and asking me where I get my like neon shorts from, or oh my gosh, you must be so confident wearing all of this. And little did they know that I also dealt with extreme social anxiety and like debilitating lack of confidence. I actually bartered with my high school and college professors to never have to give a single presentation because I was that terrified of public speaking. So I was like, oh yeah, you guys are funny. Like if you only knew what a hot mess I was. And so more and more people start following. Then I start putting on muscle on my little body, and people asking, what are you doing? How are you, like, how's your body changing? Can you give me tips? So I'm giving them tips. And before you know it, hundreds of people are now following me. And now thousands of people are following me. And I'm like, what is happening right now? And so for the first time since I had moved from Colorado to the East Coast where I got to be myself and then I had to turn off my light, I was being seen for myself, like for
Uh-huh.
my soul. And I was like, oh shit, this feels really, really good. Like this is fun to actually be seen as who I truly am. I don't have to be fake. And so I start giving more value, answering the questions. And it starts kind of getting overwhelming, and I want to help these people. So I pay my friend with a bottle of wine and she builds a website for me. I put free programs on there, again, all free. I'm doing this while I'm at my 9-to-5 job. That I was miserable at, and then eventually I got to the point where people are like, well, can I pay you to help me? Can I hire you as my coach? And so I go get my NASA certification so I can figure out how the body works, and I began helping these people. And during this transition, I had transitioned from Capitol Hill and working for the UN, which I was still just as miserable at. I'm a humanitarian at heart, so I thought it'd be a little different, but it wasn't. And so I was like, okay, if I could continue to provide value and these people wanted to pay me to help them, this has got to be something. So when I leave work at my dining room table, I'm cranking away building what was Tailored Fitness, which was my very first business. And I started helping people, and 10 months of just providing massive value and just being me, I was able to double my current income with Tailored Fitness. And I then quit my 9-to-5 job, the career that I went to all my schooling for, to take on Tailored Fitness. And people started seeing physical transformation, and I was doing my own mindset work because of my anger management. That's when I tapped into the self-development world, read the book The Power of Now, started doing neuroscience and psychology on myself. I was my own guinea pig during this process, completely changed my frame of thought, how I thought about myself, do that kind of work. And then people would get their physical results, but they were still unhappy with themselves. So I was like, okay, maybe if I start like giving them some mental like tips or some self-development tips, they'll change. Hang on. There we go. We'll edit that out. That was weird. I don't know what just happened.
I don't
So
know either.
I would do that, and their mental state would change. They would actually become more confident. They were loving their physical results. So I was like, okay, mindset. And before you know it, I'm obsessed with helping people with their mindset because that became more fun to me than just the body. And then it shifted into what it is now, which is full blown. I do subconscious mindset work around money and life coaching and business coaching, teaching people how to rewire their mind to create a life they love, because I'm now with my soulmate, my true soulmate. I live in a apartment that I've completely manifested. It's completely out of my brain, my dream apartment. And I just get to work with amazing people. And I want other people who are the old me, who are maybe stuck in a miserable relationship or an unfulfilling job, or are talking shit about themselves, to themselves, right? Just the nasty stuff we do to dig ourselves into a hole. I'm obsessed with helping those people really get to the root of what they want, and rewiring to make that happen. Because if I can do it, anyone can do it.
I love that. If you
Yeah.
speak into the old Taylor today, which
Yeah.
could be many of us listening,
Yeah.
who are afraid to be who we are, like I say in my
Yeah.
podcast tagline, to be who we are instead of who others want us to be, what would you
Yeah.
say? What would you like to say to her and the audience?
Yeah. So, gosh, what comes to mind is almost like I would give her a mantra. And this is one of my favorite mantras is I would say to her, the more you are you, the more you love yourself, the more the universe and the world is going to love you back, period. Because when we are in a state of perfectionism, the people that end up that gravitate towards us are people who are also struggling with perfectionism. So think, if you love yourself and you're fearlessly you, unapologetically you, who are you going to attract? Other people who are really fucking happy too.
I love that so
Yeah.
much, so much.
Yeah.
How can the listeners realize when they're out of integrity with who they are?
Yeah. So when can they realize that?
Yeah, how can they
Yeah.
realize I'm
Yeah.
I'm out of
Yeah.
alignment, I'm out of
Yeah.
integrity with who I really am deep down inside?
Yeah. For me, it's a body check. If you are taking action on something, maybe you're an entrepreneur and you're building this course and you're just like, oh, this doesn't feel good. But it's like what I should be doing. I should be building this course. Or you're making a decision. You're like, why doesn't this feel good? Why is there resistance? Why is it hard? Why am I not getting the results I want? And it feels really heavy in your gut. That's when you're out of alignment. You know you're in alignment when it's heart opening, when it's easy, when it's expansive, like when you're working on a course and it just feels good and you're cranking away at it, when people are DMing you saying, hey, I love what you're working on, like what that message you said just hit home and it's in your heart, that's when you're in alignment. So gut, hard, resistance, out of alignment, expansive, fun, easy, in alignment.
Yeah, I love it. I was
Yeah.
listening to now see, I thought I came up with tailored, like I thought, oh, that's a cute little play on words. And then I'm like, oh, it's tailored made. But I'm just like, I love it. I love it. I'm listening to your podcast,
Yeah.
and what I wanted to say about it was
Yeah.
you were so in alignment. You were so yourself
Mm,
that you could help other people because
yeah.
you were being yourself instead of
Yeah.
hiding behind some other persona of what
Yeah.
we think people want us to
Yeah.
be, and like
Yeah.
trying to fit in. Why should we fit out, like, you know
Mm, yeah, absolutely. It's so for me, why be like everyone else? That's fucking boring, right? No one likes someone who's boring at all. Like when we meet those people that you're like the sentence plain Jane is there for a reason. Like who likes a plain Jane? No one wants to be a plain Jane unless you like vanilla ice cream, then you're allowed to be a plain Jane. But when your personality, like it's fun to be different. People like different. People like quirky. We think that it's almost like when we were children and we'd watch cartoons, and there was always that one character that was a little different. She dressed different. She was quirky, and like you could tell that they would kind of like put her aside. So we were taught at a young age to conform, to be like everyone, because it was easier for the government and society to like keep order, right? And so just knowing that that's the root of why we feel the need to conform, but why, like, who made that rule up? We're allowed to be different. Our soul came here for a very unique purpose. We all have a very unique mission, and our bodies, our vessel, our meat suits are there to help us stand out, to make our soul that's on a purpose shine. So that way, the people who need our unique medicine, need our unique gift, can find us. Because if we're just like, if it's like a street of a bunch of storefronts and all of the storefronts look the same, how is a person who's shopping for a certain product able to know which store to go into? You've got to put your open sign on. You've got to put your unicorn on the window. Guess who's going to come to that store? that person who's looking for your unique medicine. So the more you're you unapologetically, more people that need you, not everyone's going to find you. The whole point, I don't want everyone to like me. I don't want everyone to relate to me. I want the people who need my medicine and my support to find me, and like everyone else can go find their person. So like if you come at it from a place of abundance, like the more me I am, the more I'm able to weed out who I can't serve, who I don't want to serve, and I can bring in who I want to serve or build relationships with. That like that's truly why I believe that.
And like, how do people become more clear on their vision and their purpose? You know, knowing,
Mm,
yes, this feels good. This is my purpose. Reaching out to women maybe that have been abused and live with narcissists,
yeah.
or whatever it is that in your heart of hearts,
Yeah.
like, you know, how do we come to that of like, yes, this is it. This is the thing I'm meant to
The
be doing.
Yeah. Yeah. So I actually don't believe that we all have just one purpose. I think that each chapter of our life, we've got something that our soul's trying to work through and trying to shine on. And once we're done with that purpose, we move on, right? Like my first purpose was fitness. It was to help people love their body and move their body. And then my new purpose was, oh, let's add mindset into that, right? So each, I love like the idea of finding our purpose, but also reminding ourselves that it's never going to be just one purpose, which gives us the permission to stop searching for that one purpose. Because then we're like, oh shit, if this thing currently lights me up, like awesome. For right now, that's my purpose. Great. Yay, found it. But it might change later. Awesome. Good to know that versus searching in the dark for that one thing. And so when it comes to that is really just saying to yourself, if you've got, a bunch of things going on through your day. A good tangible tool for this is after you execute each project or thing, maybe it's a one-on-one coaching or a group coaching, or you worked out a certain type of workout, right? Anything, macro or micro. Ask yourself, how fun was that? How much did that fulfill me? How much did that give me energy? How happy did that make me? And on a scale of 1 to 10, and if it's a below a 6, get rid of it. It's not what you need right now in your life, and it's not in alignment with your purpose. If it's a 7 or above, awesome. If it's a 7, ask yourself, okay, why wasn't it an 8, 9, or 10? And adjust it accordingly. So maybe your one-on-one coaching is like a 6, and you're like, oh, but my group coaching, I felt like a 10 afterwards. Oh shit, maybe I should pivot to just group coaching because right now my soul, my purpose is to help mass amounts of people. And I can come to relationships. So you're in a toxic relationship. Are you always drained? Or maybe you're dating someone and after the date, you feel like heavy, you feel exhausted. Like ask yourself, oh shit, why am I with this person? Like, well, I should feel energized. It could be relationship with your girlfriends. This could be different, even group programs you're in. A lot of people were in consumption mode right now and join a program and they're like, oh, this is not what I meant to join. This is not in alignment with me. Like ask yourself after you do everything, did that feel good? Did I have fun? If it didn't, like I'm all about like we've got one life to live. Like if something doesn't feel good to me, I will completely delete it out of my life. Like with people, it's a little different. You have to be careful. Obviously, be kind. But with things, I just like, yeah, don't just like toss people out. Please don't do that. That's not loving or conscious whatsoever. But with things, it's like I just will like I'll get rid of it and I move on with my life, which creates more space for things that feel good to me that allow me to best serve the world.
Now, just to clarify, uh, when I was at Mommy Millionaire, Kayla
Yeah,
was talking to a gal on the stage. She was coaching and talking about numbers.
yeah,
And the gal said, I'm not a numbers person. Now,
yeah,
I can so relate to that because I'm in this course right now.
yeah,
And I felt the overwhelm because there's so much. And I'm
yeah,
a very passionate person. I'm all about the helping the client that I have to change their mindset and
yeah,
to helping them change their habits and like the positivity. The numbers thing, I'm like, oh my gosh. I wanted to say the same thing. I'm not a
yeah,
numbers girl. And like that reminds me of when I was back in the
yeah.
gym having to be all about numbers. And it's why I left. I wanted to be
Mm-hmm.
all about people. So recently I'm
Yeah,
having this struggle when I'm in this course. And Kayla's like, well, you need to be about the numbers. And so I dove in and I have been trying this on and doing the things and they're working, but like
yeah,
I still am still like I'm I'm still having that struggle and feeling that
Yeah.
overwhelm of everything. So
Yeah.
what would you say to that?
Yeah. So for numbers, for energy purposes, so money is energy. I, this is my analogy. This is the second time I've said the word unicorn. So unicorn is my thing. So I'm going to give you an analogy around money in a basket, and they're just sitting there. They're just hanging out, kind of getting dust on them, getting neglected because you're not paying attention to them. And then what's going to happen? The unicorns are going to call the unicorns in other people's baskets or other baskets in the world and be like, hey, yo, Susie's not paying attention to us. She doesn't respect us. She doesn't care about us. She just kind of like puts us in this basket and just like lets us sit here. It's not very nice. You don't want to come to Susie's house because you're not going to get loved. So by not knowing your numbers and respecting your numbers, AKA your unicorns, you will put out a signal to the universe, an energetic signal to the other unicorns, do not come to me because I will not respect you. So if I get that, I've been there, right? If we want to respect the energy that is money, we have to honor the money we currently have and know what we currently have, and also to know what we want to call in. Because otherwise, if we don't know how much else we want to call in, if we want to hit goals each month or each year, the money that's waiting for it to, like, it's like at a door. Like, it's just up to us to open the door and be like, yo, I need 15 new unicorns. The unicorns are like, okay, we're coming, right? It's the same thing. Like, I'm a visualization person. Clearly, that's why I like to use analogies. But if you don't know your numbers, you're not respecting money, and money's not going to flow to you,
I love it.
period.
So I started doing all the numbers and doing all the things. I had to put it in my own terminology. So I think the reason I was
Perfect.
having resistance, that's what I was having, was resistance, because I think I was
Yes.
feeling like I was going back to what I left behind, which
Mm-hmm.
was this feeling of back in the day. It was
Yeah.
hardcore sales. And
Yeah.
it was, I felt they didn't really care about the people. So
Yeah.
I had to break through that. And I started trying on all the things
Love
and
it.
realizing I didn't have to do them all at once because I was feeling so much overwhelm and
Yeah.
resistance at the same time. And I had to look at it and say, am I going to throw this all off, or am I going to say, this is a growth period for me. Let's
Yeah.
revisit some of this and how can we put this into perspective moving forward? How does
Mm-hmm.
money and caring about people combine?
Yeah, I love it. When we figure out where the roots of our resistance comes from, it's like a game changer. Like, now you're able to be like, oh, got it. I have this story of money equals not caring about people. Well, I care about people, so that doesn't make sense, right? And you
Yeah,
chose to flip that, and that's beautiful. And now you're
right.
free from that icky story around sales. I love that.
Right. And it's because, I mean, if I didn't sell, I don't ever think about it as sales. I think it,
Yeah,
but if I didn't sell someone to my program,
yeah,
I wouldn't have people that are like saying, I lost 75 pounds, but not because I lost
yeah,
weight, but because I shed the mindset and the limiting beliefs that I had
exactly.
that were holding me back. Right.
Yes, it's our my view around selling. It is our responsibility to sell every fucking day. Like, people joke with me all the time. They're like, my Instagram stories, I'm on there all day, every day, and I'm selling something. And people are like, you're always selling something, but it doesn't ever feel like selling. And I always buy it. How do you do that? I'm like, because it's my responsibility to let you know what I have out that's going to help you. If we don't sell, we the medicine that we have, the unique medicine, the gift, someone needs that. And it's our job to get over ourselves and stop making selling icky, because when we make it icky and we don't sell, we're actually taking away a gift from someone else. Like, that's why it's like selling has gotten this weird connotation. But if we just like not make it about us and say, hey, I've got to share something, it's my job, you will call in the people you want to call in.
And how can we dive more into what you were talking about, how money is an energy?
Yeah.
Explain, like, and overcoming these blocks and money stories that we may have surrounding money.
Yeah. I'll start with like the blocks and the common blocks, and I'll give you actually the listeners a good tangible tool that they can begin to uncover those blocks and really actually heal from them. So when it comes for first, actually, let me just money to energy. If anyone that sounds like woo woo or weird, I'm going to give you some tough love. I recommend getting with the times. It used to be woo woo until we've actually proven that money is energy. It's its own frequency. So just like if anyone's like, ew, that's woo woo, like just go do your research, right? Tough love. I mean, it's like one of those things, like if you don't hop on the train of understanding that money's energy, you're fucked. You are. Like if you'll continue to sit in lack and scarcity for the rest of your life. And I say that with lovingly aggressiveness because I don't want anyone to be in that state. So like, let's hop on the frequency train, trust the process, and know that the money will come to you. And so just like a pen's energy, money is physical, it's energy as well. It's just a higher frequency, right? Or how you view it. It could be a lower frequency if you do it out of greed or stealing or a very shisty way. It's a lower vibration energy. So that's just to give an idea of why it's energy. It's just energy. Don't overthink it.
It's a transfer of energy.
It's just a transfer. Yeah. It's just we overthink it. We're like, well, how is it energy? It's just energy. It's just energy. Like that's it. So respect it as if it's another human being. There we go. And so a really quick way to figure out where you are with your mindset. So maybe right now you're listening, you're like, okay, I don't have the money I want, but like, what are my blocks? Like, I don't know. Like, I have awareness, but now what do I do? Get out a piece of paper and put a column right down the center. And on the left side, I want you to write down every shitty money story you tell yourself. And that's maybe money. And I say shitty, I want you to say everything you've ever said about money that you know doesn't feel good. You might think it to be true, but it doesn't feel good and it doesn't serve you. I.e., I need to save, 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 save. Does that feel good? Probably not, because the opposite of that means that you never get to buy what you want to buy. So money doesn't grow on trees. I have to work 60 hours a week to make a lot of money. I have to be a CEO to make a lot of money. I shouldn't spend more than I make. Debt is bad. All those stories that that maybe our parents told us about money, that society, media, your best friend, whatever, write all of those down. And then to the right, I want you to really discover, actually, we're going to make 3 columns. We're going to give a little extra on this one. I want you to write to the right of it, in the middle column, who you heard that story from. So let's get to the root of where it came from. We bring awareness first, bring awareness around anything in life, and you're like already 10 steps ahead. So, okay, great. I'm aware that this story came from my mom. Save, 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 save. And she probably did that because my dad overspended, right? So just allow yourself a couple minutes for each of those stories to ask yourself where it came from. And then you can kind of be like, oh shit, that's not my story. Oh, I get it. That came from my mom. Whoa, that makes sense why right? You have a lot of like, oh my God, it's not my fault. Like I didn't make up that story. I saw it on a TV show when I was 5 years old. So then write down where you got each of those stories from for the healing process. And then forgive. Like look at all those people, your mom, your dad, be like, oh shit. I forgive you for fucking up my money story, mom. Like, right. And I told that's a very true example. My mom was like, save, 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 even though we had money to spend because my dad was an overspender. So I had to tell her, I was like, mom, you fucked my shit up. Like, you don't have to tell your mom if you don't have that kind of relationship. But I like told her that she fucked my money story up for many years. And so she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, don't worry. I had to just tell you that to get off my shoulder. Thank you. To forgive. Don't have to verbalize it. You can mentally say, I forgive you, mom and dad, for giving me the story. Then you say, I choose to no longer have this be my story. It's not my story. I accidentally took on someone else's story. Oops. I now have the ability and the responsibility to get rid of that story if it doesn't serve me and my purpose and the people that I want to work with. Because when we are carrying around energy and stories that aren't ours, we are actually projecting that now outwardly, energetically to our community. And they're going to feel that lower vibration. So see how it's all energy. The moment you take on someone's story, it's yours. You project that onto someone else. They feel it. They don't want to work with you because you've got this icky, heavy energy that they're not able to understand or decipher what it is, but they feel something weird. So get rid of anything that doesn't serve you energetically, especially around money, or else you will block it all day, every day. So when you decide, okay, I don't want this anymore, I forgive you, mom and dad. Now on that right column, we're going to choose the new story. So your subconscious mind needs to be rewired. The neurons in your brain need to be rewired. They're hardwired to the old story. That's why automatically when you go to buy something that's expensive or maybe invest in a program or a coach, you're like, oh my God, that's so much money. I don't want to spend it. I shouldn't spend it. All those stories start coming up and you're like, they come flooding forward because your subconscious mind is like it's a computer hard drive. It wants to quickly give you the results that you're looking for. So we have to actually choose the new story to be able to tell our subconscious mind from a conscious state to say, oh, no, I get it. That's easier for you to pull that story up, but dear subconscious mind, we ain't doing that anymore. I got a new story for you. So you're going to write down your new one. If it's save, your new story is I am worthy of investing in myself, knowing that money is always going to come back to me because it's energy. What I put out, I receive. Energy is cyclical. It's a full circle. If you are not putting energy out from a place of abundance and gratitude, you are blocking money. You're going to put it out, but if you're coming at it from a place of guilt, you're actually blocking money from being replaced into your life. Like you're fucking yourself over massively when you spend money out of guilt. Like you will not see that money come back. You won't. Like you won't. And if you do, it'll be like either less or the same amount. And we ain't got time for the same amount, right? We want to make more money. So if you give it from a place of gratitude, I am so worthy of spending money. Oh my gosh, I love spending money. The universe is like, oh shit. Tell the unicorns. Like she loves giving her unicorns away, knowing more unicorns come back. See, like it's energy. And so when you come up with those new stories, now is time to do the work. When the old story comes up, you're going to close your eyes and be like, oh shit, this is the bad story because it feels in my gut. It's like heavy, ew, gross. Thanks mom for the story, right? Talk to yourself if you have to, get crazy with it. Pick the new story that you wrote down, say that story over and over again, feel it, embody it. Your ego is going to get involved and be like, yeah, but how? But when? How are you going to make the money? Stupid unicorn, stupid Taylor, right? You're going to end up doing this. I promise you, your ego is going to give you all the reasons why this new story is total bullshit. But has your ego gotten you to where you want right now? Maybe not. So let's take it out and say, not now, ego. I'm too busy rewiring the neurons in my brain. I'll talk to you later, right? Put it aside. Wear the new story and continue with your day. If you do this to every money story or negative self-talk, anything, you are going to rewire your brain. And before you know it, that old story won't even appear ever again because you've hardwired the new neurons in your brain.
And I just really find that when I think a lot of women have this story surrounding money where they may say to themselves, I can't afford that. That's too expensive. And like, I find when you stop telling yourself that and you are excited about something and you just go for it, you gave yourself permission to, all of a sudden, why do all these things magically start appearing in the universe?
Yeah, exactly.
Just when you spent, like I find, I just now spent the money on that. Yeah. And now I opened the door to everything I wanted just because I gave myself permission that, you know, that energy transfer of, yes, I'm worth it.
100%. It's hysterical. And I actually, real time moment is as we're recording this, I'm launching a money program. And I shit you not, and this happens every time I launch it. People are like terrified to spend money to learn how to make money, right? And they spend it and they invest themselves. They join the program. I get a DM. They haven't even done the actual lesson yet. They just signed up. Okay. They invested, they put the money out. I get DMs from people like, oh my God, I just got a random check in the mail. Oh my God, I just got a bonus. I'm like, oh, did you now? Okay, maybe y'all will start listening to me, right? Because they finally said yes themselves from a place of excitement. Just like you said, Linda, put the money out there. The universe is like, more unicorns for you. And it's just how it works.
It's like just about automatic. Like automatic, it does. Almost the moment.
It's crazy.
It's like you gave yourself this huge permission. And the universe said, okay, she's ready.
Yeah, literally. And it's just like that's why whenever I want to invest myself, like I'm in masterminds, I'm very intentional about what I join. So it's not just like, wow, spending money everywhere, right? Right. But if I have an opportunity that feels good to me, if I meet someone, if I want to join this program or something, I'm like, okay, that feels good. I don't double think it, right? I'm just like, oh shit, yeah, hell yeah, I'm signing up for that. That's going to bring value to my life, then value to my clients and my community. And that, which means I'm going to make the money back triple, not just back. I'm going to make it triple back. And when you think of it that way, you're just like, oh, it's a cycle. It's a circle. Got it. Perfect. I'm not going to hoard my money anymore.
And I just think too, when you give, like you receive,
Oh,
I
yes.
know that may sound cliche, but it is a law of the universe.
Yes.
Like if you give to me, then it makes me want to open up my heart and just give
Yes.
back. And it's like
100%.
this energy, like you said, that you're transferring. And I just think like when I hire people, like
Yeah.
outsource,
Yeah.
all of a sudden I am making more money because of it.
Uh-huh. Exactly. Yep. But yeah, what you put out, you receive. It's just true. Like, and what you don't put out, you don't receive. So if you're hoarding your money, saving it for a rainy fucking day. I hate that sentence so much. Oh my God, kill me. Like, I'm saving my money for a rainy day. Like, it's raining right
It's like
now.
you're
Like,
expecting a rainy day, like
oh my
you're
God,
like
it's,
calling
yeah.
it in, like.
You are literally people who, I joke all the time, like, if you are saving your money for a rainy day and it's not being saved, like, i.e. being invested and being built up through like stocks or something, like if it's just sitting in an account, like you are literally telling the universe, yo, I expect something shitty to happen to where I need this money. Like, you're welcome. When it happens, you're just gonna be like, oh, see, I told you it was gonna happen. I told you I needed this money. Yeah, because you brought that on. Like,
I believe in planning. I believe in planning and
exactly.
preparation.
Yes.
But like today is happening now. I want to
Yes.
live and enjoy and have
Yes.
experiences because I'm
Yes.
not promised tomorrow. Like, not
Yep.
to be morbid, but
Yeah, for sure.
I have known people that are in their 50s, which I'm 57. Like they're in their 50s.
Amazing.
I feel like I'm not there yet, but
No, you
uh,
don't look it, so there you go.
they're they're not like they didn't ever do the things that they wanted
Yeah.
to do. Life is
Yeah.
happening now, and this is when you have to seize the day.
Yeah.
And you've got
Yeah.
to grab a hold of what is there, or you may never do it. Like
A hundred percent.
you got to have that urgency.
100%. That's why it's like that, like, the connotation of people who are in like a corporate job is they're like living for retirement. And you guys, retirement was created from like World War II and after. Are we in World War II and after? Like, no, it was there for a reason. Like, we don't need to be living for retirement anymore. Like, that's when the death, like, would, like, the normal, like the normal mortality rate was at like age, like, 65. Like, yeah, maybe they were saved for retirement because, like, but now we have health. Like, we are healthier than ever. We have things to keep us alive longer. So, like, the idea of like saving for like when we get older, it literally doesn't make sense anymore at all. Like, we're not in that time of date anymore. Like, we have to catch up to where we are in today's society and realize that literally no longer serves us.
I mean, just to be a little biblical, but men perish for the lack of vision.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be like I'm just coming alive and doing all the
Yeah.
things. I don't want to like retire. I want to
No.
refire. Just to be a little bit of
Yes.
cliche there.
I
Like
love it. So
I
cute. I
want
love
to
that.
be alive as long as
Yes.
I am above ground. Like I want to have dreams and
Yeah.
visions and create and be
Yes.
vibrant. And that's how you don't grow old.
Nope. 100%. Literally. I love it.
Oh, wow. This
So
has
good.
been so fun. I mean, so
Yay.
tell us a little bit about your money, your course,
Yeah. Yeah.
and how people could get signed up and what will they get out of it?
Oh, love it. Yeah, so I have a membership program. It's called the Abundant Life Experience. It is it's a monthly program. Every single month, we go over a different topic. It's a different area. This is something that does not exist out there, which is why I created it. So every area in your life affects your flow of money. Your gut health affects your flow of money. Your habits affect your flow of money. Your relationships affect your flow of money. So every month we go over a different area of your life, and I help people figure out how they're blocking it. So I call it the silos of their life. Imagine a silo. There's a bunch of like smoke going up. Let's say it's like light, and if there's like a block in the silo, and that light is money and there's a block, you're not getting it out. So you're not able to receive it back. So that's my membership program. And it's amazing also for the fact that you get to meet like a bunch of your soul sisters. We've got like a private Facebook group, a membership portal where there's meditations and book recommendations for each topic. I get guest experts in. I mean, it's literally the program that I was looking for. And I was just like, well, I'll just read it. So we've got that, and that's at abundancerewired.com. Obsessed with that. It's the funnest. And then I also have what is open right now and will open up again. So whenever you listen to this, just come to it and see when it opens up next. It's called the Become a Money Magnet Masterclass. This is where I specifically teach you how to tap into the frequency of money. It is a very interactive, self-guided program that you can take your time going through, because I know I get overwhelmed when I join one. And it's like, starts at this date and ends at this date, and that overwhelms me. So I've created this where there's videos, there's a members only portal. You can go in, you can watch lesson 1. And it's not your typical money masterclass. We actually go back to your childhood. We do a lot of child trauma work, because that really deals with how you receive money. So that is over at the Taylor Simpson, like the taylorssimpson.com/masterclass. So it all depends on like if you're ready to like dive deep like fast, the masterclass is your way. But if you're like, I'm ready to kind of like slowly clean up my money story, come join the membership program.
I love it. I changed
Yeah.
my money story recently. When I was
Yay!
young, my dad and my brother would be all about the stock market, and they'd be,
Yeah.
and my brother would be like, "This is not for girls," like they
Yep.
didn't talk the numbers with me. This is why
that makes sense.
And recently, like my husband and I were talking, and so I invested, and I have my own stocks, which are
I love it.
right now, by the way.
You go, girl.
I'm like,
Yeah.
girls shouldn't talk about numbers, huh?
I love it. You're like, I'm proving you wrong. I love it.
Exactly. So I love the whole thing about, it's on my wall at the Sisterhood of Sweat Fitness Boutique for Women. Change your story. And I
so good.
important in all ways, because it changes your life. Like you changed your story. You stepped into who you are now. You would not be here talking like this to me on my, podcast if you didn't recognize where you needed to change what you were telling yourself.
100%. It's all, I love that you had that quote. Of course, we've manifested each other. Like, it's like, right, like what we tell ourselves, the story dictates the direction of our life. Like, what direction do you want to go? Love that.
Absolutely. I love that.
Beautiful.
So when you were in the narcissistic relationship, like it's hard to get out of a relationship. When did you really realize you had enough? Like, I think a lot of us don't even understand what narcissism is.
Yeah. So for me, I knew I had enough when kind of like when we go back to the question of like when we're in alignment or not in alignment, like it was just in my gut, and I knew that how I was being treated wasn't serving me, and I knew that I had made the wrong decision that was out of alignment with me. So it's really knowing that I was being manipulated, and that the tables were being turned on me, and that I deserved better, and that, I took responsibility, that I was, I'm sure, a crazy person many times over, as we all are. But it became just toxic and not a safe emotionally environment.
So what would be 3 tips? Because I feel a lot of us out there could use them on changing the narrative, changing the story of our life and what we're living. Like, because it's what we're telling ourselves. It's why you're stuck in that relationship that is no good for you. It's the story.
Well, I would first, even too, when it comes to like narcissism, I would, if you want to figure out what your next step would be, is to go to therapy and talk to your therapist about like what the traits that you're seeing, and have them walk you through that. Since I'm not a therapist, I just kind of like to give people what I've been through. But when it comes to confirming what you're dealing with, I would go to a therapist and say, hey, here's what I'm working with. Like, what do you recommend I do to start shifting out of this? And talk to your friends, talk to your family about it. Like, just don't do it by yourself. that's really what I always recommend. Don't do it by yourself. Like my mom was in a full-blown narcissistic, right? And my ex-husband had tendencies of it. And so it's like we both tried to do it by ourselves and that didn't work. So don't live by our example and really just ask for help and support, truly.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I just really want to acknowledge you today.
Thank
Like I said
you.
in the opening, you are a ray of sunshine and a ball of fire, tons of energy, because I believe you are living in alignment with your
Yeah.
purpose, and you've cleared the way, you've cleared your
Mm,
blocks. Um, and I think that gives all of us permission that
yeah.
we can live that type of lives ourselves.
I love that. No, thank you. And I appreciate that acknowledgement. It's true. Like I've never been more myself and I've never been more abundant and happy because of it. And I always say, if I can do it, anyone can do it.
I love it. Calling in the
Mm,
abundance, right?
yes. Amen, sister. I love it.
Wow. So this has been so great today. Make
Yay.
sure you guys give Taylor an amazing review and check out her money
Mm,
course.
thank
And,
you.
just give her some love and let her know how much you liked this episode today. I just
Yay.
want to thank you, Taylor, and everybody for listening to the Sisterhood of Sweat.